Forgot to tell you guys last time that I want you guys to send me demo files that you want me to look at and maybe help you with. My email address is in the description of this video, and I want you to send it to that email for now. I might make a new one where I want them. I can't remember if there's something else. But, whatever. Let's get into the game. Volume might be kind of loud. Well, let's see how it goes. Yeah. So they are running the whip to mid. Wow, you got sniped right away. Holy shit. Alright. I'm gonna pause it right here. I'm gonna get out my handy dandy notepad. Demo started at tick 25,000. Since the... Here, let me actually go to my camera. Since the change to the gloves of running urgently, the heavy no longer takes damage when he has the gloves out, when he's running fast. Instead, he gets he takes mini crits. A lot of people view this as a nerf to the weapons, but I think that it's a buff for smart heavies and for smart teams. For some of my less experienced players, I'm going to have to explain something here. There's something called critical heals that the medic has to be aware of, and actually all players should be aware of this. The longer it's been since you've taken damage last, the faster you will be healed by the medic's meta beam. If it's been within 5 seconds that you last took damage, regardless if it was from an enemy, you will be healed at, I think it's like 16 health per second. And if it's between 10 and 15 seconds, that's probably wrong. There's a middle ground somewhere where you get healed for 24 health a second. And anything after 15 seconds, if you have not taken any damage after 15 seconds on the game clock right up here. Ooh, look at that focus. Oh, look at my lovely finger. Anything after 15 seconds in game time, you will be healed at a whopping 36 health per second. So what does this mean for our rollout? Well, with the Groot, you no longer take damage from just having them out. You'll take more damage if you take them out near enemies, or if an enemy ambushes you while you're using them, but you don't take any damage on the rollout. So this means you can heal the heavy at the very last second before he enters a mid-fight, and his health is just going to shoot to 45, or 450, right as you get there. This is excellent news for soldiers and demo men. Maybe sort of pyros, I guess, if you want to run detonator. I'm not even sure if detonator can boost your speed, like in traversing terrain. But anyway, you should, as a medic, rolling out in Highlander, just because your heavy is using the Groot doesn't mean you have to ride him all the way to mid. You need to heal, first and foremost, the people who are going to leave your range. Basically, you're talking about scouts and demo men, because in Highlander, the soldier in a 5 CP map should be whipping the rest of the team, but he is jumping, and you want him to have more than 200 health when he goes out to the mid-fight. And that's not going to happen because he's jumping to keep up with the team that he's whipping. I think soldier should really be your main heal target in the rollout. I mean, obviously get the demo. Demo first off. 6v6 or Highlander. Always heal the demo right at the beginning of the round. he is going to explode, and he's going to get very far away from you very quickly. So he's your primary target. You want him to have as much health as possible on his way to the mid. I noticed that your demo was actually very late, and it didn't seem like you healed him at any point. Maybe I'm mistaken, you healed him at the beginning, but he was slow. Scout's the only other class that's going to get away from you. Unless the soldier is not whipping you, but whipping other players, but then that's his problem and not yours. So, Demo Man, Scout, Soldiers, and then pass out buffs, and then hit your heavy right before you get there. And you want to ride him out into the mid-fight. It sucks that you got sniped, and you got sniped from a really weird spot. Can't really help that, but it looked like your heavy was the only one that went into that mid-fight with an overheal before you died. That's not so good. So that's the first piece of advice. So I'm going to put that on our handy-dandy notepad. 1. Heal orders. That doesn't really sum up everything exactly, but in the notepad. Actually, yeah, let's go back to that. Do sub order. Demo. Scout. Soldier. Everyone else. Heavy at end. Okay. So let's get back in the game. See what we can figure out. I don't really like arrowing people who, need to be pocketed. Because, I mean, it doesn't build Uber, and you were right within range. Save those arrows for, like, the soldier up on the ledge if he needs a quick heal and he doesn't want to drop down. You peeked there. You could have gotten sniped. Your job is to never, ever peek. I'm going to do a whole episode on this a little later. I'm actually going to scoot over a little bit. Going to do a whole episode later on about medic jobs. But for now, I'm going to write down, let team peek doors. You need good comms. Your team should tell you if something is going to come through the door. You should never see what's coming through a door because a sniper could be on the other side of a door. There's nothing you could do even if you saw something on the other side of the door. If you got good intel, your patient should have gotten that intel too, so you're duplicating your job. That's part of the reason you got backstabbed. Everyone else is looking forward. You have stuff to do. You need to look at teammates. You need to see who needs to be healed. You need to be looking out for spies. You need to look out for bombing soldiers. You don't need to watch doorways that you can't even defend anyway. You want your team to watch doorways. You want to keep your team alive. That's your job. Keep your team alive. And keep yourself alive. Let your team do their job. That's what we're going to put. Let your team do their job. Do yours. And as well something. Spy check. Medic should be the first person who notices a spy or calls for someone to be spy checked. You don't need to whip out your needles every time an ally is behind you, but if someone is suspicious, you should be the first one to notice them and call it out. Don't look at doors. You don't need to be aiming at your targets in order to be healing them. Go into multiplayer options, go into advanced, turn on maintain medic beam without holding down mouse 1. Heal who you're healing, mouse over your other teammates, be watching their heals. Try and distribute as much overheal as possible. Flankers, like flank holders, like NG, Pyro, Scout, Soldier, they need to be mindful of their own crit heals. Soldiers and Scouts especially, go away for 15 seconds, try not to take 20, 30 seconds, try not to take damage for 15 seconds, come back, grab a new overheal. Make it take as little time as possible for your medic, and then get back on the flank, and get into this cycling pattern with the other flank players. That'll be really helpful to your guys' teamwork and being able to stay alive. Watch team health. Alright, let's go back into the game. Let's speed this up a little bit. So now you probably have a really big Uber disadvantage. Do I have... There we go. Not so big. I guess the enemy medic went down at some point. I'm not even going to talk about at all what players are with you and whose job on the team is what. I'm just going to look at your medic fundamentals here. Okay. So, while you're dead, this is really open. Most medics you're going to see standing right here. You want to be right here. It's your team's job to come to you for heals. It's not your job to run out and be running around in circles getting everybody heals. That's not how it works. You need to be somewhere safe. You are the #1 target, especially in Highlander when there are 2 assassination classes on the field, always. This doesn't apply to mid-fights. This doesn't apply to pushing. Holding last, yeah, you should be in a safe corner. They can come to you for heals. Heavy should be near you. Pyro should be near you. Unless you don't... That's a team dynamic. Demo Man needs to be near you. Sniper needs to be roaming around. Sniper, Scout, Soldier, possibly Demo Man, possibly Pyro, possibly Engineer. They need to be cycling near you in order to get their heals. If they are asking you to come to them for heals, they're asking you to die. They're asking you to put your life on the line and lose the round just so they'll have an overheal. They can come to you. It's better if they die than you die. That's pretty obvious. Let's just write that down as when defending prioritize corners. Be mindful of sightlines. Sightlines go hand in hand with map knowledge. Map knowledge is knowing where snipers can stand. The doorways on last, basically left, middle right, and upper, and what they can see from those doorways. That just goes with experience of the map. I pointed out the safest place on the map, generally speaking. Let's see if your team can get a pick on the enemy med and stall out the capture this round. Speed this up till you get alive. So, looks like the push is coming in. You're doing a decent job staying away from the Uber, trying to kite it. But now your team needs to sort of collapse on the point and crush this. Meh. Well, yeah, you hit the demo man. That's good. Yeah, your soldier's not jumping at all. That's part of the reason he's not able to spread out his whips. You're peeking the right side. Now you're peeking the left. Okay. Safe areas are right here. Heal, heal, heal. You can stand right here and be healed. Or right here. Crouch, heal, heal, heal if you guys are moved up. Or, once you're ready, move up and defend a doorway with your combo. You can't be just running around back and forth, asking the enemy team to snipe you. That being said, you're safe, you have Uber, you have a big Uber advantage. You're kind of wasting it, though. You had 80% advantage. Let's see. Ooh, buff banner. I love buff banner plays. Never mind. I think he popped it a little bit early, prematurely, but that happens. Good job spreading the Uber around. Okay, the only thing I would say that was wrong with that play is that you went and chased kills with the pyro. Generally, the heavy is like a moving sentry gun, and he can't retreat from territory, but he locks down territory that you've gained. You should post the heavy up on the point, let him deal damage, have him say, I have 450 health, that's not going to change, and this is our point now. The flank should spread out from him, spread forward, chase kills if there's opportunities, but this heavy is your base. Once the team's scattered into their last, the heavy would easily be able to turn around and focus targets that might be behind you. You need to be like a hub of heals in like the center of the action, and you chase toward the back, away from the classes that are supposed to be defending you, and B, toward danger. Anyone who's behind you at this point is going to be like not the demo man, not the heavy. They're going to be the flanking classes, the classes that do not care whether they die. They only care if you die, and you ran toward them, which sort of did their job for them, which is not so great. So Pyro would have been fine, and if he died, that's not a big deal because you just used your Uber. It's not going to be time to push last anytime soon. Let's go back into the game here. Yeah, it's like a 5v5. If you had stayed alive, you'd have an Uber advantage, but you wouldn't be able to push right now because it's 4 combat classes and a medic versus 5 combat classes. It's not worth the risk. Just get Uber, assemble your team, and push out. The Pyro could have died. It would have been fine. I'm going to just put down here, don't chase kills / leave heavy. So it's looking like they're going to try and maybe take mid back from you. Okay, this is not a good formation for holding. Everyone's sort of running around willy-nilly, and your soldier is just putting himself in a spot where he can shoot at every door, but he can get sniped from every door. You basically want your combo to be up on one of these doors. Stickies and heavy locking one of this down. A couple of flank players on this door. And a couple of flank players on this door. Post a soldier up here or here. Soldier can shoot either of these doorways very easily without getting sniped. And since if the team was up on this door, he doesn't have to worry about getting sniped. But now, because they were able to walk all the way up like this before the team even saw them, they were able to pop right here, and you're 3 feet away from them, and they're Ubered. You were able to clean it up, but it wasn't a very good hold. If the sniper's right here with the scout, and they're harassing them, you at least know that they're coming out. When you're holding, you want to be holding doorways. Demo on one doorway, a soldier on one doorway, a pyro on the other doorway. Spread the heals out and lock the doors down. It was lucky that you were able to not sustain very much damage during their push. Who the heck is your soldier? Oh, it's Hagabo. I'm gonna have to invite him to the horny soldiers. Looks like he got pissed on with that crits, though. You know what? I'm gonna just write down real quick. 5. Have pre-planned hold positions. Wow. Mid. Defending mid. Holding transition. This is the area between mid and second. It's very common in 5CP maps. It's like a yard in greenery. It's gray or trash at Badlands. Or Valley, for that matter. You know, diagonal. You know, the chokes at Gully Wash before you get to second point. Defending second. And you have to do this offensively as well as defensively, because you might want to be holding different. Defending second. Because offensively, defending second from their last is different from defensively holding second from mid. You know, different sides. And then defending last. It's pretty quick. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes to just get your team in the server while it's empty. Go, alright, we're at last. Who's standing where? Who's watching what doorways? Alright, now let's move to second. Now let's move to mid. Now let's move to their second. Now let's move to their last. How are we holding each of these points? What is the team doing? What is each position on the team doing between engagements? Against bad teams, this is where you're going to pick up free kills. People peeking doorways aggressively, and not one, because there's only 3 doorways and there's 9 players. So 2 or 3 players are going to see that peek because they know their job, and they're going to get free kills. It's going to make your push all the easier once the Ubers are ready. Let's get back into this game. I might only do this one round because I feel... Oh, goodness, I forgot to write it down. No, I didn't. I'm stupid. So, you had to Uber defensively. Oh, you get the pick on the heavy. Or you better. And it sounds like someone just popped Conjurer, which is ridiculous. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, Frank. That was a crazy play. You need to calm to your heavy. Good. Perfect. Get that sandwich. Okay. Okay. This is a tough spot. You basically just had 3 of your players picked. You know that. I don't think you should be trying to hold transition right now. The in-between. The reason for that is that they came onto mid and they popped Uber on you. Then you popped Uber on them. It might have been even before, but now, however much time between when they popped and you popped, that's the time amount that they are ahead of you in Uber. You know what I'm saying? They pop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 8, maybe 10. You popped. Now their Uber is going to be ready 5, 8, 10 seconds ready before yours. And you're playing right up on their doors. You're playing the hide and seek, eyeing each other across a very short distance. You need to put a lot of distance. And then you need to start levering your advantage once you've gained back that footing in the Uber race. Now they've got I haven't watched this. I don't know what's about to happen. But they've got 3 picks and they've got at least 5 seconds before you have Uber ready. Even if you pop Uber, you're not going to clean up their whole team when you're already men down. So this is a really bad situation to be in. I just want to make it very clear how you got into this situation so that you can avoid it next time. Be mindful of Uber timings. This is not down all the way. Alright, back into the game. Oof. You need to make a call. Make a call. We are retreating out of left door. You saw where you were. Soldier went to left door. Demo and Scout went right. You didn't know which way to go because you didn't know which way was safe. And you hesitated. You got to make a call and make sure your team, they gather what numbers they can and they help you retreat. You might not make it, but you have a better chance. Because that was a horrible situation. Because you were not near a doorway. And you were in a box. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's something else I want to say about that point. Yeah, your team just sort of scattered, which is the natural thing to do when you're in that situation. But now they're probably going to be pushing your second with Uber. So that's not a good situation to be in. Let's speed this up. You're alive. Building aggressively with Kritzkrieg. I'm not a fan of this play because generally a good time to go Kritzkrieg is when there's been a big battle and both medics have died. That way you know that you're going to be at 100% when he's at 80% and you can try and hit him with that crit sticky. Right now, you're going Kritzkrieg. You're about to lose mid. Going Kritzkrieg, about to lose mid. They have 100% Uber already. You know that. You should if you've been paying attention. So, you can infer that you're going to get crits, pop crits, have them pop Uber, which is not a bad thing. There are ways to use that. But then, you're going to be defending last with Kritzkrieg. Because you have to give up second. You can't fight an Uber with crits. You can reset an Uber and try to leverage the timing advantage because crits charges faster than Uber. But you can't fight an Uber with crits. Well, you can try and get a med pick with this crit sticky, but that's really up in the air. How to put this? You can try and push out a last with crits, but you have to push through every exit out of your last has a door, a hallway, and a door. That's a massive choke, and you're not invincible. It is very, very easy to get a Krieg stuffed in a last hold. And that's what's going to happen. You're going to be defending last with Krieg. I would say this was a very poor timing for the switch. And I hope you understand why. I'm not trying to just be an asshole and hammer you. I'm trying to help you out. Obviously, you know that, I think, because you sent me the demo file of your own volition. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to say about that. Yeah, oh yeah, so it's almost impossible to push out of last with Krieg. So the only thing you can do is have an Uber push into you, and you don't really have a response then. So it's really hard to use Krieg effectively in this position. I hope I explained that properly, why that's the timing of the choice was the problem. So recognizing proper opportunities. All right. I'm amazed they haven't pushed into you with Uber already. This is very slow on Blunderful's part. But you're bleeding into the enemy team. Obviously, this isn't something that you're doing, Lucky, but you're in a leadership position on the team when you're medic. And so now you have to call the retreat. You have to be mindful of your numbers, and you're currently fighting a 6v8. Which is not terrific. The only thing they have lost is a scout. And they've just popped Uber, I just realized. Yeah. Yeah, you need to back up, get respawns, and hopefully pop this crits on them while they're capping the point. I'm curious to see how you handle this situation, actually. But yeah, your team needs to stop bleeding into them. Oh, wow. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. That's... Yeah. You can't push chokes with Krieg. It's really, 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 really hard. You need to bait enemy teams into your territory and then pop it on them in the open. You need to wipe them with the Krieg and then push to mid. Because they didn't know you had crits at this point. So, yeah, your team needed to play back and bait. You needed to bait. Because they had a numbers advantage too. But instead they kept bleeding into them and getting aggressive. And that'd be good if you had Uber. Because if they got some kills and then you could push with invincibility. But whatever. That's neither here nor there. You have Krieg and you push the doorway, which happened to have stickies and a mini sentry on it. Hope you guys know, if there are some newer players here, that critical hits do not affect buildings. That's your Atomsk hot tip of the day. Don't pop Crits Creek on level 3 Sentry Guns. It will do nothing. If you are a puppy, you might not know that. So now, I hope you saw that spy, by the way. Now, they have about a 20% advantage. But the Crits Creek should close the gap on that. But, like I said, they know you have crits. And they... You know, they have Uber, and they know that you can't really push out with it. Oh boy. That is a horrible spot for your soldier, by the way. He should be super dead. Yep, and crits v Uber battle. Yeah. I will explain this after the push ends. Okay. So you successfully stifled that push. They're bad at pushing last. They're not sure what to do. You were able to use the Crits Krieg to push them out after their Uber was over. One thing you did very, very well there was you saw that they were Ubered and you didn't panic and pop the crits. You held on to it and waited until the Uber was over. But then what you did was you popped the Crits Krieg on the Pyro and you tried to have the Pyro chase. You can't really do that. He gets juggled. He doesn't have really effective long-range weaponry. I mean, he's got shotgun or flares. 90 damage about in critical damage if they're any goodly distance away. You should have held on to it and waited for your Demo Man to spawn. Maybe push upper, have him charge a sticky as he rounds that corner. Excuse me, hiccups. As he rounds that corner and try to lob a crit sticky at the medic. And then, have the heavy with you. Try to clean up as many of the team as you can. NG's defending last. Try and push second. And then try and steamroll with your crits advantage. Every time you kill the medic, your crits is starting again and he's dead. So you're going to get it first and hopefully be able to use it. Yeah. Now, you've used the crits on the Pyro. You see that it's not doing anything. It sucks, but go into spawn and switch metiguns. And then have the scout build aggressively with you. Get everyone else on the doors that they can cover. Have the sniper watching the upper way. Have the scout build with you. It's as fast as possible, and it doesn't waste anyone's ammo. It's the best way to do it. Otherwise, your soldier's going to be running around for crates or going back into spawn. Building with you. Maybe he's banner. Demo can't build. Heavy can't build. Yeah, just have your scout build Uber. Hopefully they weren't building super aggressively. And then, if it's not ready when they push in, kite the Uber into the back and just buy as much time as possible to get the Uber ready. But it looks like we're going to try and charge another Crits Krieg here since we're already at 30%. Oh, no. I guess you're switching to Uber. I would have liked to seen it faster. Maybe not get to 30% before you did so, but whatever. They've got a pretty big advantage on you now. But if your team can get some picks, they might have to wait for respawns in order to push the last. Well, here comes the Uber. You're at 70%. It's going to be a question of whether your team can stay alive long enough to survive this Uber and then deal the damage. It seems like you might be able to clean it up. Okay. That was a blind pop. You're assuming that the enemy is going to be there, and that's not really the way you want to do it. Takes a while for a heavy to die when he's got 450 health. If there's no immediate danger, just wait. You should have been able to see that the medic... There was no medic on that heavy, and you should be able to trust your heavy to win a 450 regenerating health battle against a 300 health heavy. Otherwise, fuck him. Let him die. Save that Uber advantage, because they were all retreating. There's no other danger out on the field. Like, they're gone. I mean, there's that scout, but you've got plenty of people with you. And now when they push back in, because they know that your Uber is over, like that, first of all, that might not have happened if they're smart. They wouldn't have pushed back in if you had still had Uber. And if they did, you would have been able to pop Uber on enemies that you could have killed. Ooh, so now you're looking at an 80% disadvantage. A little more. This... Well, I mean, you've done it a couple times so far. Maybe you'll be able to hold this point. Alright, they have Uber. They should be pushing right now. Yeah, that looks like a round to me.
The control point is being contested.
How have they not taken this? That's amazing.
Our control point is being captured.
Wow. Well, you have a bit of Uber advantage. You guys seem to be in panic mode here. Everybody is like running really, really like fast. They're running around all over the place trying to clean things up. The push is over. Like, get back on your doors and stabilize. Build the Uber up and then hold aggressively. It's not a big deal. It's not like one person's going to be behind you guys and he's going to cap the point. There's all 9 of you around. There's so many people just sort of standing around in the back now. And oh, the Uber's ready. Now we're moving up. Okay. This is not a thing that you do. Push maps, like, you have to understand that's not how they work. The last point caps like 3 times faster than second point. Probably more. And there's so many ways for people to get in. And you're pushing just the heavy and medic out into their territory where all 9 of them are, presumably with Uber. I can see that they don't, but you don't know that. You popped Uber around the same time. This should be about even. Why? They have all the space in the world to just run away, especially from a heavy. Heavy can't juggle anybody. They're just going to be like lol uber heavy at the back of almost at last. Like they're just going to run back behind the trains a second and then push into you with uber advantage because you just wasted it. You need to rein your heavy in is all I'm saying, I guess. Well, at least you didn't pop it. But peeking there was really dangerous too. Guess we're gonna try again.
The control point is being contested. Alert. The control point is being captured.
Alright, I'm going to be done right there. I think I've given you a lot to work on. If you're wondering why that push worked on you guys, it's because it looked like your light classes bled into the combo. And so your Uber wasn't really... Basically, you want everyone on the doors so you can have these like little engagements, but the real reason you want to do this is so that they can feed you intel. If someone is up top, if someone's up top, if the sniper's on the stairs, he can spot upper. He can tell you the moment he sees the heavy up there, and that indicates that they are going to push upper with their Uber. That way you can respond by jumping your soldier and demo into the window and Ubering them up there from below and just body blocking the push, keeping it out, protecting your team, the people you can't Uber, by keeping their Uber away from them. Basically, you can't let the Uber into your last and then flash 8 people. It's not going to work, and people are going to die to their Uber. Your DM might carry. Your non-Ubered people might be able to kill more of their non-Ubered people, but it's better to just, have the eyes, get the call, say the scout's on left door and your combo's on right door, and the scout's like peeking left door, and he sees, here comes the heavy medic coming down the stairs on the left, the little stairs, and so he runs back. Your pyro runs over to the left from the combo, and you Uber him. Force their Uber and push it into the stairwell. Just keep it out of last. And that's a successful trade. And if their comms are bad, the rest of their team has pushed in from the other doors, and your team, not having to worry about the Uber, can focus them as they come through the other doorways and get a bunch of kills, and you've completely crushed their push. I mean, that's ideal, but you have to have a plan. Like, things go wrong, but you have to have, like, what would be the ideal situation? How do we shoot to get close to that? I'm going to end it here. I hope that this has been helpful for you, Mr. Lucky. I know that you don't play medic a lot, or I don't think so. I know that you've been playing demo. Your DM is really good, but I think that you just need to work on the fundamentals of the pacing of the game and just a bit more mechanical knowledge about the class if you're going to be playing medic a lot. That about does it for me. There should be links below to my Twitter, my Facebook, any music I used, my HUD, which is you guys are constantly asking me for, even though the link has been in my videos for months. And my email address. Send me your demo files so we can look at them. this is a regular thing I want to be doing. It's not going to be just Highlander. If you want help with 6v6 or Highlander, we can do that. We're going to be not just watching your demos, but watching really high-level, like ESCA demos and high-level Highlander demos, like UGC Platinum teams. And basically, we're all going to learn together how to play TF2. If you want, I mean, I'll take requests. Oh, right. That's the other thing I wanted to do. We're going to pull up Google Chrome here. Let me just space the box so it covers my screen capture area properly. Gosh darn it. This is kind of a bitch. This is the segment of the video where I want to answer your questions from last week's video. There's probably not going to be a lot of questions because I'm not popular yet, but you guys are going to change that. Oh goodness. Should you guys be seeing this? Team Fortress Lessons 1. Pause this. Let's look at the comments. There are almost none. Atomsk, mind doing the same, but for Soldier, please. Absolutely. Send me your Soldier files. Actually, you don't have to do that right now because 2 lower Highlander players have already sent me demo files, and they're like my Soldier mentees, and I still haven't gotten back to them about that. I need to make videos for them or just watch the demos and help them. So the next one is probably going to be a Highlander Soldier. I want to get to some 6v6 games. Okay, I'll tell you the truth, guys. I made the first one of these videos like weeks ago, and it was horrible. I was so excited. There was an amazing invite match at Granary where Lansky did an incredible job as Pocket Soldier, and I went through that match. I literally did it like twice, and I tried to render the video like 4 times. It was horrible. And that's what led me on this path to get new camera, new microphone, new software. I'm recording in a completely different manner now. It's more off the cuff. It's improv. It's live. It's more personal. I hope you guys like this style. By the way, give me feedback on this stuff. Yeah, this is probably running really long. I'm just gonna go. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Yeah, just comment, like. The more you like and, do stuff with this, interact with me, the more popular this will get and the more people it will reach, and hopefully it'll help people. I hope you guys have fun and you get better at TF2. That's my goal. That and I want the community to grow. I want more people to like TF2. I want more people to watch competitive TF2, more people to play competitive 2. Just make the community grow, and it's up to not just me, but all of you guys. So, yeah. Have a good night. Bye.